Welcome to the Bootstrap Mogul Podcast, where we bring you the grassroots tips, tricks, and stories in everything entrepreneurship, digital marketing, and personal development. I'm your host, Andres Holguin. Hey there, Bootstrappers. It's so wonderful to have you back for another episode of the Bootstrap Mogul Podcast. This is the show where we dive into everything that's going to help you grow your business, navigate the roller coaster of entrepreneurship, and most importantly, lead a life that's on your terms. I'm your host, Andres Holguin, and you are in for a real treat today. Now, if you're tuning in for the first time, a warm welcome to you. You've picked a fantastic episode to start with because we're covering a topic that is near and dear to my heart. And if you're a returning listener, you know you're like family to me. So I'm so grateful you've chosen to spend your time here. It really does mean the world. Now let's dive in, shall we? You know, as well as I do, that in the world of entrepreneurship, there's this one thing, a cornerstone, if you will, that holds so much weight, it can literally tip the scale between your success and, well, your not so success. I'm talking about mindset, my friends. Yes, the magic of mindset, because let's get real, the only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. Can you just see the gif of Mean Girls right now? Am I dating myself? Have you ever felt that there's this invisible force field between where you are now and where you want to go? Now, if you nodded your head, even just a smidge, you're not alone. You see, we all have aspirations, that dream business, the lifestyle we crave, the impact we want to make. But oftentimes we stand on the edge of possibility, looking out into the vast unknown, paralyzed by fear, doubt, or even just the what ifs. And that, my friends, is where mindset comes in. So today, we're not just skimming the surface. Nope, we are diving deep into the ocean of mindset magic to uncover the treasure that's been there all along. We'll tackle those fears head on, explore the mental gymnastics that keep us stuck, and most excitingly, lay out the concrete steps you can take to get that mindset ship sailing smoothly towards your dream destination. Oh, and a little heads up, later in the show, I've got a mindset challenge of the week that you won't want to miss. This is your chance to put all of that newfound knowledge to the test. So grab a pen, a notebook, and maybe even a cup of your favorite something, be it coffee, tea, or hey, even a glass of wine. We're not judging, we're too busy thriving. All right, are you ready to conquer fear and take that leap? Let's get into it, shall we? So first, a little disclaimer. Before you even think about drafting that business plan or designing that sizzling website or figuring out your social media strategy, we absolutely need to talk about what's happening upstairs in that brilliant brain of yours. Now, I don't mean to sound dramatic, but if your mindset isn't in the right place, all the strategies, blueprints, and hustle in the world won't do you much good. I mean, imagine building a house on a shaky foundation. No matter how gorgeous that house is, it won't stand for long. The same goes for your business. So you're probably wondering, okay, Andres, I get it. Mindset is important, but can you give me some real world examples? You betcha. Let's talk about Warby Parker for a second. Now, Warby Parker, the eyewear company, didn't start out by wanting to tackle giants like Luxottica. They started small. They were a group of students who were frustrated with how expensive eyeglasses were. So they began with a simple idea: high quality, stylish frames at a fraction of the cost. But here's the kicker. The founders, including Neil Blumenthal and Dave Gilboa, were confident that people would buy glasses online even when everyone else thought that they were crazy. Now fast forward today, and they are a $1 billion company, and that's what I call a winning mindset. They saw a gap, they had a vision, and most importantly, they believed they could fill that gap no matter the number of naysayers. The mindset came from before the business plan, the investors, and the accolades. Here's another golden nugget for you. Sarah LaFleur of her fashion brand, MM.LaFleur. They were doing pretty well, especially with corporate women who needed functional yet fashionable workwear. But then the pandemic hit, and guess what? The corporate women who were their target audience were no longer going to offices. Yikes. So what did Sarah and her team do? Did they sit there wallowing in self-pity? Nope. They pivoted. They started offering bento boxes filled with a range of clothing items curated for working from home. They didn't let the situation define them. They defined the situation. And that's mindset magic. Now, these aren't your typical heard a million times examples, but they share a common thread. A robust, resilient mindset was at the core. Without it, Warby Parker might have never disrupted the eyewear industry, and MM.LaFleur might have sunk when the pandemic changed everything. Now, I want you to hold on to these stories as you navigate your own entrepreneurial journey. Because let's be real, your mindset can either be your greatest asset or your biggest liability. And today, we're making it our asset. Trust me, I know it's easier said than done, but that's why we're here today, and that's what this whole episode is all about. All right, are you fired up to dig deeper? Great, because we've got a lot more to cover, and so we want to tackle that big, scary word that haunts every entrepreneur's dreams, fear. So if you're just joining us, you picked a fantastic episode to tune into because today we're talking about that ever-elusive concept, mindset. And more specifically, the role of fear in shaping or stalling our entrepreneurial journey. Ah, yes, fear. It's like that uninvited guest at your dinner party who not only shows up without notice, but also tries to hog all the conversations, right? But fear isn't necessarily a bad thing, my friends. Nope, fear comes in all shapes and sizes. Fear of failure, fear of success, even the fear of getting started. So let's break those down a bit. Fear of failure, it's paralyzing. It keeps you from taking any risks, all because you're afraid of what people might say or think if you don't succeed on your first try. And oh boy, the fear of success. It sounds paradoxical, but hear me out. This is the fear that keeps you, thinking you're not ready for the big leagues, even when you absolutely are. And then there's the fear of getting started. This one is sneakier because it disguised itself as planning. You know what I'm talking about, the never-ending research, the endless list making, all to avoid taking that very first step. But here's the thing, fear doesn't have to be a stop sign. It can be a teacher. So let's demystify it, shall we? Now, the first strategy is to name your fear. Yes, call it out like you would call out a friend who's late to brunch. Give that fear a name because when you can identify it, you take away its power to be this big amorphous monster lurking in your thoughts. Second, flip the script. Instead of saying, what if I fail, say, what if I succeed? Instead of saying, I can't afford to invest in my business, ask yourself, can I afford not to? This subtle language shift can do wonders for your mindset. Lastly, take what I call micro actions. These are small, manageable steps that move you closer to your goal. Remember, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither will your empire be. Even if it's just setting up your business email or drafting an outline for a business plan, every micro action counts. Now let's sprinkle a little real-world inspiration here. Think about Howard Schultz, the man behind Starbucks. Before he turned Starbucks into the empire it is today, he was turned down by 242 investors. Can you imagine the fear of rejection he must have felt? But he didn't let that fear dictate his future. He took it one step, one pitch, one no at a time until he got his yes. So, as you sit there contemplating your next move, I want you to remember, fear is not the enemy, it's a compass. It points you to where your boundaries are so you can push past them. After all, on the other side of fear is everything you've ever wanted. Okay, so if you've been with us at the top of the show, you're ready to conquer fear and manifest that killer mindset. Now, how do we make it all happen? How do we move from dreaming to doing? Well, I'm thrilled you asked because, I know you're thinking it. So let's dive in. The first thing to remember is that tiny actions can lead to massive outcomes. Trust me, every empire starts with that single step. Your business journey is no different. So step one, decide what you're going to offer. Be crystal clear about it. You can't serve everyone, and that's okay. Niche down, identify your dream customers, and create something specifically for them. Step two, take inventory of your skills and tools. What do you already have that can help you take the first step? Maybe you're great at graphic design, or perhaps you're a social media whiz. Use those skills to your advantage. And remember, what you don't know, you can learn. Or better yet, you can delegate. Step 3, set realistic deadlines. Now, I'm all for dreaming big, but let's also be practical. Break down your big goals into smaller tasks and assign deadlines to them. Write them down, put them in your calendar. Heck, shout them from the rooftops if you have to. Which leads me to step number 4, accountability. Now, whether it's a business buddy or a mentor or even your audience, yes, you can be accountable to your audience. Just make sure someone knows what you're aiming to accomplish. It really adds an awesome layer of, to your commitment. All right, so time for a little story magic to bring this all to life. Let's talk about Mailchimp. No, they weren't an overnight sensation. They're a classic example of slow and steady wins the race. So they started back in 2001 and they focused on small businesses, making it super simple and affordable to send newsletters. At first, it was all about small gains. They didn't try to shoot for the moon right off the bat. They concentrated on making their existing service a smidgen better each day. And they listened to customer feedback, to market needs, to their own intuition. And guess what? Mailchimp is now valued at over $4 billion. They didn't rush it. They didn't hustle 24/7. They took small, consistent steps toward big dreams. And that, my friends, is what I call smart business. So let Mailchimp be your lighthouse. Let it remind you that, hey, it's okay to start small. It's okay to be the turtle in the race. Because eventually the turtle gets to where it needs to go, and it gets there in one piece. Okay, so let's take that energy, that newfound wisdom, and let's kick some entrepreneurial booty. We've got this, and we are doing it together step by step. So by now, we've learned how to confront our fears, adopt a powerful mindset, and take actionable steps to move forward. But here's the thing. Being an entrepreneur is akin to riding the world's wildest roller coaster. There are thrills, but there are chills. Emotions can run high and lows can feel pretty darn low. So how do you sustain a healthy mindset through all of the ups and downs? The secret sauce? It's in your daily habits. Your daily habits create your destiny, so let's make sure those habits are serving you. Let's talk about meditation first. Now, before you say, Andres, I don't have time to sit around and do nothing. Let me stop you right there. Meditation isn't about doing nothing. It's about tuning in. Just 5 minutes a day can ground you, help you focus, and clear out all the mental clutter. Think of it as a spa day for your mind. And I'm not perfect at meditating, but I definitely do try to do it as much as I can because I know the value that it provides. Next up, journaling. I get it. Writing might not be your jam, but stick with me on this. Journaling doesn't have to be the next great American novel. A few lines a day can provide clarity, help you set your intentions, and keep track of all those brilliant ideas that pop into your head. And how about affirmations? Now, this isn't about lying to yourself or chanting some sort of magic spell. Affirmations are about recalibrating your subconscious. Instead of dwelling on limitations, you're setting a new narrative. Think phrases like, I am capable, I am deserving, or I create my own opportunities. And by the way, a study in the Journal of Psychological Science found that self-affirmation can improve problem solving and help you manage stress. So this isn't just woo-woo stuff, it is science-backed. Now let's bring this home with a real-life example. Have you ever heard of Headspace? It's a meditation app that took the world by storm. Co-founder Andy Puddicombe was a former Buddhist monk who decided to take a leap and introduce mindfulness to the mainstream. Despite facing skepticism initially, Andy stuck to his guns, and now Headspace has millions of users worldwide. Now, why did it succeed? Because Andy realized that mental resilience is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Just like him, you can adopt these daily habits and build a reservoir of mental strength that will not only help you withstand the challenges, but truly thrive on your entrepreneurial journey. So there you have it, my marvelous bootstrappers. I hope these techniques resonate with you. You want to make them a part of your daily routine and watch how they transform not just your business, but your entire life. Okay, so we've come to my favorite part of our time together, which is our mindset challenge of this week. Yes, you heard me right. Now that we filled our minds with all of this goodness, let's put it into action. Now, if there's one thing I want you to take away from today's episode, it's this. Knowledge isn't power until it's applied. So, if you're ready to turn all these golden nuggets into real, tangible change in your life and business, let's dive right in. So this week's challenge is designed to take you out of your comfort zone and get you one step closer to that dream business of yours. I'm calling it the Fear-Facing 5-Day Challenge. Yep, you heard it right. 5 days to confront and conquer what holds you back. So here's how it works. For the next 5 days, I want you to identify one small action each day that you've been avoiding because of fear. It could be something like making that cold call you've been dreading, sign up for a course to learn a new skill, or even just declaring your business intentions on social media for all to see. Now here's the kicker. Not only are you going to identify that action, but you're also going to commit to doing it. That's right, taking that one bold step every single day for the next 5 days. Now, why are we doing this? Because, my friends, the more you confront your fears, the less power they have over you. Each little win builds up your confidence, and before you know it, you're not just dreaming about success, you're living it. So to make this even more actionable, I want you to track your fear-facing actions. Make it simple. It's super simple, but make it impactful. Okay? Now, there's our mindset challenge of the week. I'm super excited to see how this shifts things for you. Remember, every skyscraper started from the bottom. So let's start at the bottom, one fearless step at a time. All right, well, my friends, we've arrived at the end of another fabulous episode. Can you believe how fast the time flies when you're diving into something as transformational as mindset? But before we say our goodbyes, let's do a quick recap. Today, we've learned that mindset isn't just a buzzword. It's your secret weapon in business and life. So wield it wisely. We talked about the importance of mindset, how fears manifest themselves, and strategies to overcome them. Remember, fear isn't a stop sign, it's a teacher. We also discussed the tactical steps you can take to transition from fear to freedom. From making that first move to adopting daily habits that build resilience, every bit counts. And let's not forget about the mindset challenge for this week. I'm so excited to see how the fear-facing 5-day challenge shifts things for you. And if you've been enjoying our time together, and I hope you have, I'd be honored if you could take a moment to rate and review the podcast. It helps more bootstrappers like you find me and build their dream businesses. Now, before I sign off, I just want to say, you're not in this alone. This community of bootstrappers is here for you, and so am I. Building a business is a journey, and like any journey, it's way more fun and rewarding when we take it together. So until next time, keep that mindset strong, stay committed to your dreams, and remember, the best is yet to come. Sending you all of the love and encouragement your way. I will talk to you soon.